Okay, well, hello, my Fat Turtle Racing fans. I wanted to talk to you today about the Narragansett Summer Nights 5K that the team will be doing a little later on. That race is a 5K. It's our first one of the group. So what we're doing is, since we're doing the half marathon in Disney in January, we've planned to stay on track. 2 5Ks a month apart, one today, one next month. And then there's a month off because some of the turtles will be traveling, or maybe we'll decide to throw in a race there if we're feeling really ambitious. But also, we'll take that month off, and then we'll have 2 10Ks in the fall, which will sort of get us up to that level of getting to the half marathon status. And then we can train that for another month or so. Hopefully we're ahead of that curve so that we're ready for the full half marathon in January. So anyway, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the track itself, so I'm going to bring that up for you. It's in Bristol, Rhode Island, at Mount Hope Farm. So if you want to see, we're in one of the bays that leads out to the ocean, and it will be right here. You can see Mount Hope Farm comes up, and the path, you come in, and we're going to get to park in one of these fields. It'll probably be the second field, because the actual farm and barn itself is where the 5K starting line is. So we'll be parking out here, walking in. We plan to start our streaming coverage at 7, but the race is actually at 7:15. So when you come in, you run mostly this path that goes through the woods down to this beautiful cabin that they have out in the bay. And this is paved all the way down here, but once you get down here, they start to, on the way back, you don't go straight back. You run through the grass area. There's some trails that are through the woods, I believe. I mean, maybe it is really here. We did do this race once a few years ago. Some of the trails are like stone dust or packed, or just grass. So you'll go around this farm field, and then you come back, and it goes back uphill. Because when it goes down toward this cabin, it goes down toward sea level. So it does go pretty significantly downhill. Right about here where you're coming out of the trees is the biggest hill part that we'll be on. So you guys will see that. But yeah, you do run. Basically, you run down one way. You add a couple of things on the way back. But you are still following this path. So you guys will get to see that when you actually join us for our live stream. I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but I believe the host is going to hold his phone, even though he had a harness the other day. I will be wearing a harness that I have not used to stream before. I've used the harness. It seems like it'll be fine. So hopefully, at least I will stay connected as long as we have service, since it goes out toward the ocean and there's nothing there but trees. I do recall in the past that it has been a little bit spotty in that area for service, so we might cut in and out a little bit, but Sean has really good service, so hopefully he'll stay on the whole time, and he'll just be able to look and see if we get disconnected and throw us back in. I don't know how well you'll see the producer, the co-producer, because they're not certain that they'll be able to hold their phones the whole time, so you guys might see a lot of the inside of their pockets, and they might take it out. And I know that they're going to take it out at the end, as we're all going to finish at different times. So going over the finish line, you'll see probably the co-producer first. I think you're going to see the producer second, and then, Sean and I will be bringing up the rear. But you'll see what we see, as long as we stay connected. But you'll at least be able to regroup with us at the end. So what I'm going to be wearing, I've chosen for today, is my favorite running shorts, or my favorite type of running short. I'm going to wear my Belief running shorts. They are perfect because sometimes I used to throw my phone in my pocket. I don't think I'm going to need that, but if I do, it'll be a quick way to get in there. I also like to keep my electrolyte tablets in my pocket. So I'm going to be running not only with that harness on, but I will also be running with my hydration belt, which I'm not going to show you yet, because we're going to talk about the different types of hydration belts and things like that. But I'm going to run with a pair of biking shorts that have pockets on both sides. So they'll pull your phone or anything that you put in it up against your skin, so it doesn't jump around when you're bouncing while you're running. I'm going to wear a pair of brand new socks. I've been running in Saucony socks. I've done a couple of races or training runs where I've run in like compression socks, or I've run in actual running socks, and they're almost like a little too tight, and I'm worried to kind of, change it up today, because it is supposed to be, it is a heat wave, and it is, so I don't want to do anything too constricting and mess anything up, so I'm going to just go with a fresh pair of Saucony socks. And I wasn't going to, but yesterday we had picked up the shirts. So I have my Narragansett Summer Nights exercise shirt. The host was kind of curious to see if we liked this material. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but you can kind of like see through it. It's like a mesh type of material. So I'm going to try this today. I expect it's going to be just like the last one. I did make a video, if you guys have been watching, where I wore the last one, and I had a little bit of trouble where the logos are, because they're sealed, right? So like this, there's no airflow that goes through here, but my bib is going to be there, and that's also going to be a problem. Plus my harness, I'm expecting to hit somewhere around this area. So it will also be blocking wind, so I'm hoping that it's not a big deal. The only thing that I normally wouldn't, obviously I picked this shirt, this is their shirt. I would normally not wear a shirt that's this dark of color because of the sunlight, and it absorbs sunlight, it gets hot. But figured I'd give it a try. I know it's a little bit crazy because it's going to be hot and it's going to be sunny, but I think I'll be okay because I am a little overtrained for this race. Don't quote me, but I'm going to take it easy. And I did select not my favorite shoes, not even like one of my, I would say this is like my fourth favorite running shoe that I'm using right now. I decided to pick, these are my, they're my Asics Gel Ventures. The reason I picked them is because it is not a fully paved terrain. So if you notice, the bottom of this shoe is sort of more on the idea of a cross trainer. It has a lot of grip space, not barely any foam showing at all, and it's all rubberized with good tract. So that's what I'm going to use today, just because it is that race. I've been hydrating today, telling all the fat turtles that they need to be hydrated. It's going to be super important just because of the temperature. Not so much because it is, obviously it's a race and you want to be nice and ready to go, but hydration, especially electrolytes, because it is going to be so warm. I think that, I'll check the temperature, but it's supposed to be, right now it's 85, and since it's a heat wave, that means that that's 3 days where it's 90 degrees or higher. So the expected, it's been okay the past couple of days around the time, it's been part of the heat wave around the time that the race is going to be, but who knows? Like, none of us have been that close to the water. Is it going to be humid? Is it going to be as hot? Is there going to be a breeze? I mean, you just hope so, right? But the real key is to not push and just to do the best you can. So it says the high today is going to be 90 for my area, which is a little bit further north from where the site is that we're going. And it says at 7 p.m. it's going to be 83. So our race is starting at 7:30. And it says that for my area, the wind will be dying down at that point. So I don't know what's going to happen, but just making sure that we are as ready as we possibly can be and listening to our bodies to make sure that we don't do anything too crazy. I am a little bit worried about the heat, so I have concerns that my time per mile will go down. I expect that to happen. I was going to try to push today because I am further trained than a 5K, but I'm not going to do that just because I am afraid that it's so hot that would be a mistake. So I will be trying to run at the same slow, easy pace that I've been doing and hope that there's been enough training that it'll be fine, even though it's warm. That distance will be shorter than I've been running for the past at least like 5 weeks. I've been running past 5K status, so should be fine. I'm going to say to all of you fat turtles out there, if you're doing any kind of race that's in a weird condition, like a heat wave or something that we would be concerned about, like potentially when we go to Florida in June, is that those might be weird temperatures. So like, listen to your body. If it says no, don't push yourself. There's no shame in having to walk part of it. You don't want to be injured, so listen to those body cues. Last but not least, if you want to follow along with us today, you can go to our YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, you'll see, if you go to Fat Turtle Racing, you can go to the live tab, you can see that we have one scheduled, and it gives a picture of, I think, the co-producer's t-shirt. This is the actual race that we're going to be running. It's not open to anybody else because it is full, but you can see this path here is, this is actually down near that cabin, that lower part of the race where they have you run around the field. So you will be running through grass and you'll be running right by the water. But yeah, you'll be able to see that if you guys join the live stream. You'll be able to follow along with us and see where we're at, see if we're on the ground. So like, follow, subscribe. We hope to hear from you guys after the race. Good luck to all my turtles out there.